Hey guys, this is Mike
And Scott.
from Deepwood Force of Will,
The deepest.
the woodiest.
Ooh.
I'm here bringing you, well, we're both here, but I'm the one who's actually bringing you the profile.
Really, bro? Really?
This is the deck that I brought to ARG States. I ended up with the 12th place finish. Just bubbled out of top 8, losing to the guy who got 8th place. So,
Nice.
what can you do? You know, you face your aggro matchup at the last minute and then you die to it. So, whatever. The deck that I brought was Seijuro Mikage, ally of the Black Moon, Stealth.
Awesome.
It's a deck that's been done before, but I decided to not go the blue route. I ended up putting some red stuff and green stuff in here. It worked pretty well. There were certain scenarios where I really wished I was playing the blue variant, but I'm happy with the performance of the deck, and I as well just go right into it. The ruler is obviously ally of the Black Moon, judgment cost of 3, has Energize, and any number of times per turn, as long as you have the mana, you can pay 1 black, deal 100 damage to a Resonator, and then he gains a counter. Remember that this is not just for Resonators that your opponent controls. You can ping your own stuff if you just want to amass counters. There were many times in the tournament where I did that. On his other side, he becomes a 9/9 vampire with imperishable and flying, both very, very good stats, very, very good symbol skills to have for a ruler. And you can remove a blood counter to either give a target J Resonator -1/-1 till end of turn, give him +2 attack until end of turn, gain 200 life, or give a +1/+1 counter to a vampire you control. So, obviously, he's got a lot of stats. Not a lot of stats, a lot of abilities. And they can be used multiple times. You can use them based on how much you set up in the early game. This is basically how Reflect should have been. I think that he's one of the best designed rulers we have for his flavor, for all the effects he gets on it. And he's very versatile, he's very cool, and he was a lot of fun to play with. Moving into the main deck, I only played 12 Resonators, because obviously if you're playing the Stealth variants, you want to keep your Rizas live. We ran 4 Tama, Familiar of Holy Wind. Tama draws you a card, sacks yourself off, and pings for 200 damage. You'll notice that one of the big themes in this deck is just pinging for small amounts of damage to get value. And Tama is one of your activators of cards such as Demonflame, which is really, really nice. And she draws you cards. What's not to like about her?
Tama, best card.
Tama's really good. We have 4 Riza, and along with that 4 Riza comes 4 Melder. I'm sure you all saw this coming when I said Stealth. These are the only Stealth Resonators I play. Double Riza into the Melder gives you that crazy turn 5, 36 stats, 36 worth of stats, plus -32 altogether. You pay a lot of life, but Mikage can get you that life back. It's pretty cool. You get a lot of really neat interactions with those cards. That's all the Resonators I played. It's all you really need. As long as you see at least 1 Resonator in the early game, you're probably going to get a nice tempo game going. And if you don't see Resonators, you're going to be opening with removal. So you're pretty much fine in either regard.
Yeah.
I played Regalia because we are playing a 3-color deck. Played 4 Laevateinn the Demon Sword. Giving him swiftness is crazy, especially because you can pump him up with this, pump him up with a lot of stuff, and then just swing for game if you get your opponent down enough.
It's stupid crazy how many counters you can amass.
Exactly. And once you amass enough counters...
I've been on the dealing end so many times in states, and just against you.
Yeah, we did a lot of testing.
Crazy.
The damage output for Mikage is insane.
It is.
Moving on to that, we have Artemis the God's Bow. Again, more minuscule damage. This, in combination with Tama, can actually kill off Lancelots, which makes your early game against aggro a little bit better. Not that much better, but a little bit better. And obviously, it's another activator for Demonflame. And it gives him target attack, which he doesn't actually come with. So, being able to have those just kind of sit up there on the board and just work with that, it's very strong. Very good option there. And then 2 1-ofs being Deathscythe for stopping, aggressive rulers. And then Marybell for stopping your opponent's Deathscythes so that you can swing for game. And also the damage mitigation's pretty nice. So those are all really important cards. Obviously you want to open with 1 so your Rules Memorias aren't dead. I didn't whiff on a single Rules Memoria throughout that entire tournament.
Are you serious?
I was almost always opening with a Regalia. 9, I think, is the right number to run for Regalia.
Wow, that's almost 15 games.
Yep.
Without missing. Jesus.
Exactly.
Well, it was, maximum of 15 games.
It was very good. I really like the consistency in this deck. 9 seems to be my best number. Moving into your spells, chants now. We've got 2 Scorn of Dark Alice and 2 Nameless Mist.
So good.
I actually want to bump Scorn up to 3 and reduce Nameless Mist up down to 1.
Really?
Scorn was very good against the aggro matchups that I had trouble with, so that was where I really needed it. I wish I'd played a little more, but I had one on the side, which you'll see later. Nameless Mist didn't really hit too much for this deck. Spells don't really hurt me that much, besides Black Moonbeam, which in tandem with Deathscythe doesn't really hurt either. So it all depends. These two are very good cards, though. Didn't mind seeing them at all. And then one Barrier of Shadows. This card actually underperformed a lot in the tournament. I was really surprised. Honestly, it doesn't hit enough. It doesn't hit. There's not enough Regalia for it to hit. There's not enough rulers that need their judgment upped. There are almost no Gods Arts. There were almost no Gods Arts in that tournament. So
yeah, that's because a lot of people I felt like were playing like the new rulers,
exactly.
Charlotte, Feetsing, Mikage,
and they all have really cheap costs.
Right.
So upping their cost isn't even that hard.
Yeah, opening it by 1, where the majority of them are 2 or 3, making it 3 or 4 is not like a lot of the games that I've played have gone to like turn 4, 5, 6. Like,
it's
like nothing.
The game slowed down a lot, which
Right.
is where having a card to slow it down further doesn't really help much. So I think I would side this, put in something else. I'm not sure what yet, but this card is definitely one of the weaker performers of that day. I top decked it against my round 4 match where I ended up losing to the guy who got 8th. That was one of my top decks, and it just felt so awful.
Yeah.
Moving into... I played 4 of Demonflame. This card is
just so good.
Yep. You ping once with your Mikage and then finish off whatever it is. It's just infinite resource of removal. This is really good against Feetsing Turbo, which I did not face once in the tournament. This deck was very tailored against Feetsing Turbo.
I don't think there was a lot of Feetsings
There
there.
weren't.
Anyways. There was 31 people that actually participated.
Right.
And I feel like there was about maybe less than 5
Yeah.
Feetsings.
One of them was Aaron Miles, who I never played because he was top cut for the whole time, and I tied my first 2 rounds.
Definitely. I didn't face him either.
And I also played 4 Lightning Strike, which was definitely a departure from the norms that a lot of people have been going with Mikage. I felt like an extra damage option because with Lightning Strike, your 3,600 damage off of your double Melder, double Riza opening ends in Lightning Strike, dealing the extra 500 damage so that you can kill your opponent, because that brings him down to 41. It's also a really good early game removal tool. Again, in tandem with Mikage's ability, you can clear off land slots with this. There's a lot of really good implications to it. This card did fairly well. I might cut it down to maybe 3 or 2. I didn't like seeing it too much, but it did its job when it needed to. Demonflame was definitely the higher performer out of that. Moving on to 2-cost spells. 2 Lapis Darkstorm. Knocking your opponent's hand out is great. The only decks I didn't really like seeing this against were the Charlotte decks, just because once you knock out their hand, they can just replenish it afterwards. So sometimes you didn't really want to see this in that matchup, but most of the time this card was fine. It did its job. It's a delinquent duo if you played Yu-Gi-Oh! It's pretty good. 1 Black Moonbeam. I saw this once in the entire tournament, and I resolved it once in the entire tournament. When I did, it was devastating and I won the game, but I didn't see it any other times besides that. Not even in the Sylvia match, where I played 3 times against Sylvia.
Jesus.
I would have loved to see this against Sylvia, but didn't happen.
Never.
1 Space-Time Anomaly. This card was interesting. I'm not sure if I liked seeing it at 1. Whenever I play Space-Time Anomaly, I wanted it at like 2 or 3 maybe. The one of Space-Time worked in some scenarios, but I found myself sighing it out a lot. Did its job most of the time. Just kind of an underperforming card in this deck, at least. And then a card that was not underperforming, though what I thought about it, was Seal of Wind and Light, which was insane. Because when you're playing the control matchup, being able to stop hooks and stopping Celestial Wing Seraph, I did that twice with these things.
Anything from Chance Standby, so anything stealth
Yep.
works against as
Works
well.
great against the mirror match. This card's just insane. Being able to cancel stuff and then have your control aspect. I can't talk highly enough about these enough. These are very, very good. I don't see myself siding them out. I originally had 1 in the main, 1 in the side. Took out a Wind Secluded to put the second one in, and I think that was a really good idea. Even though I got Black Moonbeam a couple of times after my opponent Deathscythed me or nullified me with 0. What can you do? You know, it's whatever.
I just feel like since it's stealth, like you kind of don't really need him as much.
Right.
Because once you flip, all you're trying to do is just go for game, and once they kill him, since you have the front side of him again,
Yeah.
you
can
can
still
keep
just ping things off.
and killing things off.
Exactly.
which is still
So-
really good even in late game. So I feel like even if you do lose
So that was-
Mikage as a ruler, it's like doo-doo Black Moonbeam, it's not that bad.
It's not the worst
By
thing.
that time, you should end up being towards the late game.
Right. So that's 40 cards in the main. I don't really like going up to 41 ever, but I probably should start doing it if I make more decks with these consistencies. Moving into the stone lineup, I play Regalia, so I put 4 Rules Memoria in there. Rules Memoria is just great. You open up with anything. It helps. It lets you play Seal of Wind and Light, which is crazy good. Then 3 Black Silence for, again, Seal of Wind and Light, for Tama, producing black, and then 3 Scorched Bales for Demonflame, Lightning Strike, the good stuff. Fairly self-explanatory. You just want to get all your colors pat down. And then the side deck was stupid. Some of these really worked well. One of the top formers was Girl in Twilight Garb or Dark Alice, and the 2 Schrodinger that go with her. Dark Alice was really good against the Charlotte aggro matchup. I kind of wish I'd put this in against Sylvia, but at the same time, I think that matchup was just already an uphill battle, and the ruler didn't really matter as much as the substance of the deck. So she did her job really well. One time she got Shackles of Ice. Something I didn't realize going into this is that both my rulers are crippled by Shackles of Ice. So I felt maybe I should have put in Gil Lapis for a non-dead to Shackles of Ice, but whatever. Don't forget to prepare for that card, ladies and gentlemen. I put in the second Deathscythe in the side deck. Put that against aggressive rulers again. Saw it once against Sylvia, never again. So whatever. I put 3 Enraged Knights in here. This was really good in theory for when I faced the Stealth matchup. I did not face the Stealth matchup at all.
How the hell did you not face this freaking Stealth matchup?
I didn't face Stealth. I didn't face... I faced barely any control. I faced like 2 control players.
Jeez.
I played against 2 aggro decks and a Mars deck.
Oh my god.
So my main combo puts me down to 2,000. Guess what their burn spell does to me?
Kills you for 2,000.
Yes. So that was a struggle, but yeah, these things never... they went in once against the Zero matchup, but I never saw it other than that. Again, I was talking about the Nameless Mist, Scorn. I interchanged these whenever I needed them. I found myself putting this one in and taking one of these out from the main most of the time, just because aggro matchup is stupid.
Yeah.
And then the second Barrier of Shadows. I barely had to put this in, actually. There wasn't a lot of high-cost judgments. There wasn't a lot of Regalia in the game, so it wasn't really the worst thing to put in, but it didn't do much. Heavenly Gust overperformed so much. I was blown away. This card, all right, Joey and I talked about this. We talked about how good this card was. People doubted. People were like, oh, people aren't going to play enough editions. People aren't going to play enough Regalia. People swarm their shit. So you just... Because you're playing Regalia too, so you can trigger the torrent on it. And it did work. It blew away Deathscythe when I needed to go for game. It blew away Artemis bows when I needed to go for game. It blew away... I didn't see it against Shackles of Ice. That was a problem. I wanted to see it against Shackles of Ice. I didn't. It did so much work, and I was very impressed with the performance of this card. This is one of the main reasons I really enjoyed playing green. So keep this card in mind next time you decide to play green. One last drop. I put this in against aggro matchups. It was okay. It didn't really do a great job of going against it. It was really good in the Mars matchup because adding back the 1,000 life after they've burned you is pretty relevant. So keep that in mind. Didn't really do much else. And then 2 Beta Phoenix Wings for Swarmy decks. I didn't face any Swarmy decks. I didn't face a single Swarmy deck. Everything was either aggro or control, and the aggro decks just put down 1 threat and wend. This was in case of Machina, in case of like an elf turbo deck. I don't even know if people do elves. They just do Gwyber.
Yeah, pretty much.
So the card it exists. That's all I can really say about it. I'm glad I did. No, I put this in once. I put this in once against somebody who was playing a Charlotte mid-range control deck. I blew away a lot of his stuff, and he was like, just fuck my life up, fam. So I think those were his exact words.
Oh,
like
God.
I'm not joking about that. So these worked once and never again. But the fact that you can ping stuff, I was actually against like a field of like a bunch of elves and a Melfi. I pinged the Melfi once and then did this so that I would deal the remaining damage to it.
Oh my god.
So that worked wonders. That worked really, really well. And that's pretty much the only time it went together. Looking forward, I do wish I'd played some blue. But at the same time, it's like green had its merits, red has its merits. It's hard to really pick which one was best. I could have gone like quad color, but that would have been insane. And knowing my luck, I would have never drawn anything good.
Right.
So, that was the entire deck. I had a lot of fun playing it, though. A couple of salty moments against aggro, but what can you do? You're putting yourself down to 2,000 life. You're a glutton for punishment if you're playing stealth. So, it didn't face any feat things either. I tailored the deck to what I thought the meta was going to be, and it turned out the meta was just the same old aggressive and controlled dichotomy that it was. Didn't even play any stealth, which sucked. But,
Yeah, I played all of those.
You played all the stuff that I wish I had played.
Controls.
Yeah. So that's basically the whole deck. I had a lot of fun with it. Please try the deck out. Subscribe if you enjoyed it. We're going to be posting a lot of other videos coming soon, especially involving these rulers, involving new CFC decks, new starter deck based decks. So stay tuned for that. This has been Mike
And Scott.
from Deepwood Force of Will, signing out.
See ya.